Hey everybody, What the Flick, talking about The Strain, Season 1, Episode 7 for Services Rendered. Yep. I'm William Bibbiani from Crave Online.
Ryan Turek from ShockTillYouDrop.com.
Let's take a look.
The plan I've constructed is unfolding perfectly.
Start the car!
Whoa!
Sunday.
There is danger in that house.
If you wish to defeat this evil, you must trust me.
What's your history with this German?
It's all complicated.
I could bring you right here.
The Strain.
This was a fun one.
This was good.
I had so much fun with this
Yeah.
episode. Especially, I want to jump to the ending real fast.
Oh, okay.
The ending was great. Because they finally, usually the ending of these shows is like, oh no, and then the vampire's going to kill someone, or oh no, they're in trouble. Here they actually finally expanded on the world of the show in a way, in like the first way they have in a long time, by introducing, I guess, benevolent vampires or quasi-benevolent vampires.
Some elite team that's out to do something, run by Nosferatu himself, apparently.
I was fist pumping. I was like, yeah, I cannot wait to see where it's going. This like mouse guy played by Stephen McHattie, right? Yeah, so much fun.
Yeah, he's got those Nosferatu, Salem's Lot like front teeth, you know. But I've come to grips with the fact that they're not going to give us big, wide, expansive shots of like vampires killing people, doing like this kind of epic vision just yet.
Yeah,
I like the fact
you
that
think
we're
they're going to get there though. You said
I think
just
we're going to
yet.
get there. I think we're going to get there, and I'm coming to grips with the fact we're not going to get that, and I'm embracing the quiet moments and the moments on the periphery, these like attacks that are happening, and I think that it was beautifully pulled off when we got Aaron Douglas from Battlestar Galactica, showing up for a little cameo moment, and he just hears screaming in the woods and in the darkness, and I'm like, there's shit happening out there, and I want to see it, but that's just scary enough for me. I like that.
I think that's a really good way to handle it. You're right. I don't think and maybe they're trying to save the money on not showing like a big crowd scene of vampires, but the idea that every single scene there's something going on in the background. The idea is there's probably someone getting killed by a vampire right now. It's spreading. There was a good little touch when they were in the subway and everyone had the sniffles and was wearing the face masks. It's like
the woman with the throat syrup or the spray.
A little Primatine. Clear that right up there. It's starting to come together, and we're starting to do less setup and more play. We're starting to have fun with it, and even just that opening bit was just a nice little horror movie in and of itself. Guy coming home to find his wife's a vampire. It was creepy. It was nicely shot.
The attack on the cab was pretty neat. You know? I mean, that was all fun. And this is they used this gimmick twice though. I have to call shenanigans on it. The whole bit where, oh my God, it's going to come through the window, and then like the tongue splashes out and hits the glass and wriggles around, and then we later see that when the nanny, you know, she's like on the other side with the daughters, and like, oh my God, is the mother going to get him? And then the tongue comes out and hits the glass, and we're like, oh. There's
only so many things you can do with a giant lamprey tongue. I think that's the harsh lesson we heard. We get spent a lot of time in World War II in this episode. And
we're seeing the connections, the character connections, deepen a little bit.
But it's not just seeing the connection. Well, I mean, it is seeing the connection. We're starting to see some character development. I like the idea that we're seeing Satrakian and the German guy. German guy. They were not friends, but friendly. As friendly as you can get in that situation. They could have a conversation together about politics, and it wouldn't end in just one of them.
We were seeing agendas, you know? I mean, we were seeing the German agenda. He was there, but he wasn't. He was there thinking about the future already. Yes, he knew that. You know, the war was going to be lost, but he's already got other plans in place. You know, and he mentions that. He knows that that's just all nonsense. That they've got something bigger and nastier on the way. And I like that. I like that. Yeah, like you said, that was like a cool moment. You know,
well, and it's like
guards were down, and they were just speaking like guys.
Seven episodes later, we're finally getting a sense of who this guy is as a proper like supervillain. We're really starting to give him an identity of his own, other than he's the vampire who's trying to make all this happen. That's exciting stuff. I liked the exposition early on with F calling shenanigans. Like, it makes no scientific sense whatsoever why killing the master vampire would kill all these other vampires. And Satraki is just like, who's been right every time?
It felt very wink wink.
A little bit.
You know, like a little knowing nod to the genre. You know, it's like, we know that if you kill something bigger, you know, like its minions will die. You know, we've seen that
the event of the Avengers,
we've seen that device used so many times in horror, but I also love that he calls attention. He's like, why don't we just call this the Master? For our purposes, we are just going to call him the Master. Because usually, like, they'll come right out, like on Buffy.
Yeah.
We've seen it on Buffy where they're like, the Master has plans for you.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay, that's the name, you know? Until now, we never had like a name for the big bad, you know? And then F comes right as, I'm just gonna call it the Master. I like it. It's a little knowing wink wink.
Yeah. Do you think we're starting to see some proper redemption for Sean Astin's character, or?
Oh no, he's still a despicable guy.
He's still just absolutely terrible.
He's just a terrible, terrible human being.
No, you don't think he's not redeeming himself in any way?
No. I realize that he's the Renfield of this whole story.
Yeah.
You know, he is the Renfield. There's always got to be that character, that device for these kind of vampire stories, and he is that guy.
Well, even just horror stories. I mean, there's always that guy in the zombie movie who, lets greed or avarice or jealousy get in the way and ends up getting everyone doomed. Yeah. And you keep him around as long as possible so their death means more.
Yes, and he'll get a glorious death.
You think he'll get a glorious death?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I'm curious to see if Satrakian has I'm just curious to see where this goes with the wood coffin, the big box, because now that we've known he's carved it. I want to know
mythology.
The little mythology there. I'm curious to see if where they take that even further.
Is the box important?
Is it important? Will he meet the Master himself? That kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Do you think that there's I don't know. I'm worried that we're just going to do the World War II thing and then we're just going to cut away, or do you think we're going to always have these like
I hope
almost
bridges.
almost I want something like these Arrow-like flashbacks where every episode now and here's Satrakian in the 50s fighting vampires for the Communist Party.
I guess if they want to stretch it. I mean, like I'm not too familiar with the rest of the books, but if they want to stretch it, they could.
It's a lot of fun.
They get some parallels going.
Yeah.
But no, I'm loving this show, and
I think it's starting to hit a stride.
It is starting to hit a stride, and I'm seeing that people on social media are starting to notice that too. They're like, oh, okay, the strain is now picking up. We're starting to get some action, and I think as we go, I do like that there was a reference to Bolivar, the rock star.
We're getting back to him. Where the hell
we're
is
getting
he?
back to him. Yeah, he was on the front page of like the New York Daily News or something like that, and it was like Bolivar's show canceled or something.
All
like
the
that.
pieces are still in play. Just wait and see how they come together. I think it's looking fun. Okay, we'll be back in 2 weeks. 2 weeks with another installment of The Strain. Alonzo Duralde will be back. Thanks.
See ya.